Hey guys, welcome back to Pretentious Pundits, a podcast where we discuss all things football and pretend to know what we're talking about. This is our review for EPL Gameweek 2, and all I can say is it's been a very exciting game week.
Yes,
Very exciting.
yes, indeed.
And
Yes, indeed.
I don't think there's been a single game that ended in a draw this game week. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a
Yeah,
single
no,
game that
no.
has ended in a draw this weekend.
No.
And what around 44 goals scored this game week?
I think it was a record.
Yes,
It was a new record.
Yeah,
yes, record
it
breaking game
had to be.
week.
There was in some insane score lines. And talking about insane score lines, let's just jump into the first fixture right away. Everton versus West Brom. Scintillating fixture. That's the opening game you want from a game week. The scoreline ended like 5-2, but trust me, it could have been way more for Everton. Highlights of the game for me would be obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin's hat trick, and also the sending off, which I feel like West Brom could have avoided. It was pretty pointless
Kieran Gibbs.
reaction. Yeah, what was that reaction from Kieran Gibbs? All James did was bump into him, and to have such a poor. I mean, if you do something like that, the player has all the right to go down to the deck and pretend to, be really hurt. But uh, once the VAR saw it, there was no escape. And the to West Brom's credit, they actually came back to 2-2 in the second half. But I feel like the extra man really helped Everton. Everton completely demolished them. And speaking of Everton demolishing them, they had 71% possession in the game.
Crazy.
At full time, Everton had
Insane.
71% of possession. And people have been talking about James Rodriguez and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Richarlison also popped up with two assists, which in my opinion is really great for Everton. It
Yeah.
just goes to shows that
Mm-hmm.
this side is settling in really well,
Yes.
Yeah.
and this is the direction that the club needs to take if they, want to perform better than they did last season. I mean, as we all know, Everton have had a couple of disappointing seasons in the past, and I think their bid to revive their performance in the Premier League has paid off with the new manager Ancelotti and the signings. The midfield has been completely revamped, and as you can see, it works. Alan was brilliant, and all in all, amazing fixture. And I feel like Everton could have won by more. And moving on, speaking of scintillating fixtures, this is perhaps the most interesting game we've seen all game week, and that is Leeds versus Fulham. And Sri Hari right here is going to
Mm-hmm.
describe the action that took place in that game.
7 goal thriller. What can I say? What a match. What a match. Like Leeds got their first win, the first PL home win in 16 years. And I would say like Leeds were dominating most of the time. But when the scoreline reached 4-1, that is the time, Fulham got a hold into it. Then Mitrovic scored, and then the Bobby Reed scored, but it didn't help them win the match. All it ended up is like Leeds winning 4-3. It was a very good match, in my opinion. One of the most, in my personal opinion, it is the game of the guy. I would say it was like very challenging for the both the teams which just got promoted. Both of them were looking for win, and it was pretty much evident in the match.
And I
So
feel
yeah,
like,
that's what I want.
yeah, and I feel like Fulham came back a rejuvenated team
Yeah,
after halftime.
Yeah.
yes, Mitrovic scored 2 goals.
Yeah, and
But
Scott
it was
Parker,
just not, but it was just not enough for the win.
yeah,
It was just not enough.
I feel like they were unlucky not getting the win,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, they got into game like very late, very very
yeah,
late. Like Leeds had scored already 4 goals. That is the time like when they got into the game, they got a hold into it. But it was very late, I think. Otherwise, it would have ended up as a draw. But a 7 goal thriller, one of the best match. My opinion, game of the week.
and Helder
That's what I
Costa
would
and
say.
Patrick Bamford, what a game they had.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so
Yes.
did Mitrovic. So I guess that's one positive for Scott Parker's side, but fair to say that they have a lot of things to figure out. Now they have
Hmm.
lost two of their opening fixtures, so it's all down to their third game week, and we'll cover that in the preview later. But swiftly moving on to the third fixture, and I can see a very disappointed Manchester United fan down there. I mean, expectations were obviously high from the first four. You can see the disappointment. But
No doubt.
Fawaz, would you like to tell us what you were expecting from the game and what you felt at the full time whistle?
the lineup, like I said before, I don't think that was a good choice from Ole, and he chose Fosu Mensah even though he had a decent game. Uh, the first goal came from the right flank. Schlupp just exploited with his pace and gave a ball into Townsend. And then the second goal, it was we were kind of unlucky because you have to overlook those decisions. I mean, De Gea made a decent save. I wouldn't call it a good penalty by Jordan Ayew, but I think De Gea did good. And then when he had to retake the penalty, I
Zaha
think
took the shot.
went down.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, after few substitutions, Manu looked good again. Like I said, 17 shots they had. They could have done much better, especially after Van de Beek's goal. I mean, he found the space, to get into Crystal Palace's defense. You know how they defend, like 8, 9 players in the box. I don't know how he found the space. And after that goal, Manu they played really well. They were in Crystal Palace's half only. But there was this one chance exploited by Wilfried Zaha, and the defenders should have done much better, especially Lindelof, because none of them, neither Maguire nor Lindelof committed. No one tried to intercept, and Zaha just got this bit of space and he just took the shot.
Hmm.
So after that goal, I think the whole morale went down, and that's when Manu lost the game. And they have to improve a lot. I mean, they have to get a new players. But yeah, Crystal Palace, hats off to Roy Hodgson. He did a good job, and Wilfred Zaha as well. I mean, he could have turned out a great player for us, but Moyes ruined everything.
I think you
But
should have had made another sign with Shed Moist should have never happened.
yeah,
I
I
s-
think that was
yeah,
Alex Ferguson's only good decision in life.
and I feel like Manu were very lucky to be beaten by 3-1 because Jordan Ayew squandered some pretty strong chances. And by
Yes,
pretty strong
Yeah,
chances, I'm talking like there were 2-3 chances where he should have found the net,
yeah.
but he didn't.
I mean, I was surprised. Even though Crystal Palace had 24% possession, they had 14 shots on the goal.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by the way they played.
I mean, Roy Hodgson
They
still
just
got
couldn't.
it. Yeah. And I feel like people are criticizing, Crystal Palace for defending in mass, but it's just a
It
style
works.
of play. Yeah, it works.
It works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
Exactly.
tactics. That's it.
Yeah, and pretty much,
Team,
yeah, if any other team does
yeah,
it, say like Atletico Madrid, who have pretty much, it was their idea to start Park the Bus. They used to do it way back in the
Mhm.
Champions League fixtures against Barca and all. So back then, people have no problem with it. But when smaller teams like Crystal Palace start to do it against bigger teams, people have such huge problems. And I feel like that's just,
Turns out to be a
yeah, that's
problem.
just being a little hypocritical in my opinion. I feel like Crystal Palace should be
Yes,
given a lot
sir.
of credit, and so should Roy Hodgson. The man still got
Yeah.
it. He's come in and he's won he's won games at Old Trafford in 2 consecutive seasons now, and I feel
Yeah, I
like
think that's
Yes.
record
yeah,
after
that's
23 years.
yeah, that's insane. That's pretty insane. And speaking of doing better, uh, we should quickly move on to the next game. That was Arsenal versus West Ham, and West Ham. I mean, trust me, Arsenal should have done much better in this game, but West Ham too. They had the chance once they equalized to go ahead. I mean, they should have
Mhm.
created more, or they should have had a little more incision in their gameplay. But Arsenal too. I mean, despite having around 68% possession, they're pretty much struggling the entire game. And if it weren't for Nketiah's well-timed goal, and I think it was Ceballos who assisted it, and
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's one pairing I definitely did not see after the training ground bust up between the two. I
Yeah.
felt like
I mean, it happens. It's football, but
yeah, it happens.
I could say this,
Yeah,
put that behind and came.
pretty much. And this is when you start questioning, West Ham. Like, how do you let us like Arsenal have control of the ball, right? And you know what is going to happen. They should have defended much better the entire game. And also, Arsenal struggled pretty much to score that late winner, which they shouldn't have,
Hmm.
considering how they started their opening game week and considering the caliber of players they have right now. Their defense is considerably better than the last season, and so is their attack. I mean, now that Lacazette is starting regularly and he has, he's in good form. To
Hmm. Yeah.
not be able to, score more goals. I mean, Arsenal definitely should have made more of the possession that they had. But regardless,
Hmm.
they've come away with a win, and Mikel Arteta has had a very successful start to the league campaign. So Arsenal, in my opinion, should just try to hold on to this form, and
Hmm.
at the end of the day, a victory is a victory. So if it keeps them going, then fair enough. And
Yes.
the next game, pretty much, you know, probably the most interesting fixture I saw the entire game week. Obviously, there was Leeds United and Fulham, but this fixture gives it a close competition. And I'm talking about Southampton versus Tottenham, and Yasser is going to be talking about that one.
Yeah, Southampton versus Spurs. It was played at St. Mary's. I mean, Spurs won 5-2, which was, I think, after the first game, it was a surprise for everyone. Southampton started the game really well. They had possession. They moved the ball around. But then Harry Kane scored a goal which was disallowed because Son was ruled as offside. So, I
Hmm.
mean, they started the game really well. But then, Southampton got a goal out of nowhere. Danny was with a really well taken goal.
Mm,
Yes.
The
Yes.
ball from Kyle Walker Peters, and he took one touch and just slotted it in the bottom left. It was a brilliant goal. I mean, it was they caught him off guard. Spurs were they were in no man's land. And then
Yeah.
when Southampton, and then at the end of halftime, I mean, and at the end of the first half, uh, Ndombele picked the ball in the field. He played it to Kane. Kane played to Son, and then Son just took his chance brilliantly. And that was
Yes.
a brilliant end to the first half of Spurs because they didn't look threatening in the entire half, and they got a goal. And at the start of the second half, I mean, Son just came into it.
Ronaldo.
Kane was on fire. Yeah, Ronaldo, exactly. I mean, Kane was on fire. Kane just kept. He just looks up once, and Southampton
Hmm.
defense, like, they play so high, such a high defensive line. So I mean, you just play one ball and it's. I mean, you find Son and he scores, and that happened multiple times after that. He scored 4 goals in the game. Kane had 4 assists, and Kane ended up scoring another.
One
And then
goal.
Southampton, yeah, exactly. Southampton then had a penalty which Jennifer won, and uh, Danny got his second goal. So it's overall, I think Southampton are in a really bad place because they lost their first 2 games, and they lost their Carabao Cup third round tie as well. So it's not looking great for Southampton right now,
Hmm.
but great for Spurs.
yeah, great
Yes.
for
Exactly.
Spurs, and this could probably be a turning point considering they have two new signings now in key areas with the arrival of the likes of Gareth Bale and
That is
Reguilon.
true.
And I
Yes.
feel like Southampton should just try and recover from this because we've seen Ralph Hasenhüttl recover his team from in the last season
Yeah,
as well. I
Last
mean,
season.
last
that
season
Uh,
was bad.
9
Start of
0
the season,
yeah, the 9-0 loss at home and the way he's
like,
turned around the team. Yeah, so I feel like there is still time for them to turn it around. It's just two
Yeah,
game weeks. I mean, it's just
hopefully.
been two game weeks so far. So let's hope that Southampton do much, much better. And
Hmm.
swiftly moving on, we are going to be talking about Newcastle and Brighton. And yet again, Yasser is going to bring us up to date with what happened there.
Yeah, again, Newcastle Brighton, it was a surprise because Brighton ended up winning 3-0 at St. James's Park, which is now called, obviously, Sports Direct Arena. I think it was Brighton were really good in that game. It was a great game for Brighton, but not a great game for Newcastle. They just looked off the pace. They had a very flat game. Callum Wilson just missed chances. On the other
Hmm.
hand, Brighton had a brilliant game. I think Tarek Lamptey again, he's making the right wing back spot his own. He had such a brilliant game again. I think as a Chelsea fan, I'm really envious about the fact that he left our club.
Hmm.
But then you look at we have Aspilicueta and Reece James. So I think it is a brilliant signing for Brighton because they spent only 4 million on him and he's looking like a first team regular now. He's only 19 years old. It's brilliant for them. And Neil Maupay, who's I think he had a brilliant game. He scored 2 goals. He scored the first goal and then which was a penalty, and then he scored the second, which was again Tarek Lamptey was again involved in the build-up. Yeah, so I think it was a brilliant performance from Brighton, and for the third goal, Neil Maupay got an assist as well. So Ryan Conley sorted it, like he just finessed it in the back of the net. So I think it's a brilliant win for Brighton. They look really dangerous against Chelsea as well. And but it was a setback for Newcastle after their first game win against West Ham. So I think it's brilliant for Brighton fans. It's brilliant for them to see their club doing so well in the second game.
Yeah, and I
Hmm.
feel like now that Tariq Lamptey is in such good form, it just makes Gareth Southgate's job even more difficult. I mean,
Yeah,
England have
that's
England have such brilliant
Yeah.
depth.
would have like
I mean,
every
yeah, people speak about this so often, but I feel like we need to reiterate this one more time just so that people can actually understand how good a spot England are in. I mean, they've got the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Kyle Walker. They've got Max Aarons. They've got Tariq Lamptey now, Reece James, and I mean the list just goes on and on. I mean, yeah, it's like who's
Yes,
gonna pop up
exactly.
next? Who's gonna pop up next? Like who is going to add to the? And Max Aarons is already being linked with Barca, so let's see how that goes. Until then, let's talk about a fixture that we pegged out to be the game of the week, and also there are two sets of fans here. Ones that are particularly happy about it, and one down there that's not. And I think there's just one sole reason that he's not happy about it. I mean,
okay, I have to do this. I mean,
oh yeah, for those of you who are watching this and don't know, Chelsea announced the signing of Mendy. So happy days, I guess. I mean, let's see how he gets on.
very happy days.
Put one cap out also, no? Put one cap out also. He wasted
Nah.
72 million.
But coming to the game was amazing. First half was fairly even, I feel. It was back to back. Overall, the match, I think Chelsea missed a lot of chances, especially Werner. He got a lot of chances, and I feel, was the only one in Chelsea doing any of the attacking.
Yes.
Other than that, everyone was just, I don't know, they just looked off. And Liverpool, on the other hand, even though the first half was neck to neck, second half they just dominated, especially after the red card of Christensen. And once Thiago came on, he just kept playing the ball left, right, center, and it was really good to watch. And the assist from Firmino was
Brilliant.
again, amazing. Yeah, an amazing assist. But again, Kepa's mistake again cost Chelsea.
Yes.
Second goal.
I honestly wasn't expecting that mistake. Like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Like he could have played it anywhere, but he played straight. Dominant.
Like a silent slithering RKO came out of nowhere.
Yeah, his distribution looked really decent till that point, and then he does that, and then the entire team just fall down. I mean, it's really bad for the team when you make a mistake like that, especially
the fall started when Christensen got this red card.
It all started, I feel.
Yeah,
that was the point.
And I just want to know I just want to ask Yasir this, like everybody is so focused on Kepa's blunder, they forget that Christensen made an equally huge blunder, which cost the entire team. I mean, should he have let Mane go and try to take a shot onto the goal, or should he?
Yeah, see, that's on this Christensen decision making. I think he could have let him go. Either Kepa would have got the ball, or he would have gone around the keeper and he would have scored. I think that would have been a bad ending to the first half. But then you had 11 players on the pitch. You could go again in the second half. So I mean, it was a really bad call from him. But then it was the way it was supposed to be.
And to be fair, the ball was in such a way that Mane. He wasn't. I mean, it wasn't obvious that he would score from that situation.
Yeah, it was difficult to control. Yeah.
I mean, the only situation I could see him scoring is if he could, chip it over Kepa.
Yeah.
Or he could have tried to take it around, but he would have probably been fouled by Kepa.
But no credit taken from Fabinho. He had a wonderful game. I
Absolutely.
mean, makeshift defender. He did it once last season, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think he had a solid game. He pocketed one of the entire match, and he's looking really solid at the back.
He is, and considering that Joe Gomez and Joel Matip are injured for the time being, I think this is going to be our centre-back partnership for a few more games to come.
Yeah,
why is everyone ignoring Thiago, man? Come on, 75 touches. It's brilliant.
For those of you who don't understand why we are not talking about Thiago, I mean, brilliant game, no doubt, but this man has been tugging himself ever since we've announced the signing of Thiago.
He's been
And
He's the
trust
best.
me,
I'm telling
me
you,
and
he's the
Shashik
best.
we are Liverpool fans, but at this point, even we are kind of sick about hearing how good Thiago is from Hari.
Yeah.
Because that's all he's been talking about. Mate, calm down. Calm down.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Anyways, let's talk about Leicester and Burnley next. Fixture that is
So
also being
another
covered by Shashik.
6 goals in the game. It was another amazing match. Two sides who again are fairly even in terms of paper, though on teams on paper. I mean, the match was good. Burnley started off really well. They took the lead. Christopher Wood, I think, was the one who gave them the lead. But after that, once Leicester got hold of the game, they dominated, and then they were just Burnley were just struggling, and Leicester just went left, right, and center and attacking, and they got 3 goals. Harvey Barnes had a brilliant game. I feel he was playing with the Leicester defender. I mean, Burnley defenders. He was just dribbling past them, and it was really fun to watch.
Last game, no?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I mean, his performance was like much improved compared to the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was the
like
complete
last game
opposite.
he struggled. Yeah, it was the complete opposite. I think he got man of the match. I'm not sure, but he did so well compared to the previous match. And yeah, and James Justin also scored. He's looking good. He's looking well settled. And yeah, other than that, the game was pretty even. There was nothing much other than the scoreline, which was 4-2, which also says that Burnley do have a lot of fight in them. They've shown this last season that they can play well at when they are under a lot of pressure, but they have to do something about their defense and stop leaking goals like this.
And for a team that's as physical as Burnley,
Yeah,
defending should not be a problem as such. But
yeah,
we've already seen Sean Dyche overperform with this team. I mean, the kind of team he has and the results he's getting with it are phenomenal. Nothing to take
exactly.
away from them. Just a loss probably can recuperate next game week. We've talked about
But
so many thrilling fixtures, but
yeah, but
you go on.
yeah, but Leicester have. I mean, right now they're on top of the Premier League table, and
Yeah.
no
Hmm.
one's eyeing Leicester and Everton to win the league this season. But I think we have to keep a watch on them.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, keeping a watch on them is fair, but I feel like they haven't faced tougher opponents yet.
Yeah, it's true.
So, as we can see, the next game week is going to see a Leicester face Manchester City, and that will probably be a season-defining
That'll be
moment
Yeah.
because
Yes.
that's where it
Yes,
trailed off. Yeah, because that's where it trailed
Hmm.
off for Leicester last season after the Man
Yeah.
City fixture. And let's hope the title race remains as fun as it is right now. I mean, we're just 2 games in, but we've talked about so many interesting fixtures. Now to talk about a fairly boring one, if I may say so. Just saw 1 goal in the game, and I'm talking about Aston Villa versus Sheffield, and we have our man Fawaz covering that one.
Yeah, Aston Villa versus Sheffield. Like you said, it was a boring game only, but it was completely unexpected from Aston Villa. Like considering the way they performed last season, I was surprised because they had 18 shots. They had 18 shots, and the way Sheffield played, it was complete opposite of what they were doing last season. And even though they won a penalty, and apart from a few good chances, they only had four shots on goal, and they missed the penalty. Martinez had a good debut, and he saved the penalty for them. Then overall, I think Aston Villa have made a good signing in the form. Who was the championship top scorer last season, and
Confirmed.
he's made a difference. I mean, you could see it against Manu also in the friendly where he chipped in with a goal, and that was the only goal of the game. So he played really well, and the whole Aston Villa team played really well, much better, very unexpected. And I would like to add this: the teams where when I predicted will get relegated this season. I mean they showed that they can do wonders. You
Hmm.
you can't just rule them out. I mean that's what
Yes,
Premier
Ali.
League is. Like Aston Villa,
Yeah.
Brighton. I think Brighton to go down this season, but they played really well. And sorry, yeah. Aston Villa, Brighton, and this thing who were there. Fulham also played really well. So
Yes.
yeah, you never know. Premier League just gets more and more exciting.
Interesting,
Yeah,
interesting.
and I've been talking with the lads. I think before we shot any of the before we began with the podcast, we were talking about our predictions, and I predicted that Sheffield will suffer from a second season syndrome.
Yeah.
And so far,
That's
it's
my
looking exactly like that. But
Evident.
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like Chris Wilder has some time. I mean, right now, nothing is guaranteed. Right now, nothing is
Yes.
guaranteed.
It's still very early in the
Yeah, it's still
season.
very early to
Hmm.
decide who's going to win and who's not, or where the teams will finish. But a lot of teams have a lot of figuring out to do in terms of whether their team is good enough or not. If not, how do they get the
Hmm.
best possible results? And
Hmm.
next, let's just move on to Wolves versus Manchester City, a befitting end to a brilliant game week, which saw the Premier League giants Manchester City face off against Wolves at their home stadium, and we've got the blob to cover this one.
Hmm. I would say like Wolves pushed, but suffered a 1-3 defeat to City. That would I say. That's my statement for that game. Like City were very very good at first half, but they slowed down to the second half, and Wolves made them nervous at the second half. And even Jimenez, he scored one brilliant header, but it was not enough. It was just not enough to do the job. Like in first half, De Bruyne won one penalty. He scored it, and then Foden also scored it before Gabriel Jesus' late goal. So I think City's first half dominance affected Wolves a bit, like very much, and then later on they became very like I would say sloppy in second half, and Wolves used it completely. Like they created a lot of chances, but just didn't work out for them. That would I say.
I mean,
And
that's
they were
what Wolves do against the big team.
Yeah,
They
yes,
always manage
exactly.
to do this. Yeah.
Mm,
and considering that they have had such brilliant results against City last season, I think Wolves pulled a double over
They were
City last
the
season.
they
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
one of the only two teams. I think United were the only other team.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proud fan.
So yeah, that
No, full
Yeah,
double
so-
against City and Brighton, Aston Villa. That's what my take was.
so yeah, that would
It's okay.
Sheesh.
Bro, how do that, bro?
Okay, I will cut. Okay. Yeah, it's okay, bro. It's okay.
That feature.
Your dad featured here. Speech by series done. Okay, so yeah, I will. Oh my god, this thing.
I think it's first, sir.
Yeah, I think so.
The craziest things happen when we record these podcasts.
Exactly. Yeah, so I would say, Wolves were pretty, like they put up one good fight, but it was disappointing for them to lose. In my opinion, it was disappointing to see them lose the game. Like in second half, they created so many chances and they ended up losing each one of them, except one in which Raul scored. But it was okay. Like good win for City, but a very bad one for Wolves. Despite the performance they put up, like they pushed very hard. It was pretty evident. It was pretty evident from the point when De Bruyne scored. They were pushing, but they were just not getting the result. I think bad luck. So yeah, that's what I would say. Wolves pushed but suffered a big
But
defeat.
then
One
a
two
whole
defeat.
season ahead of them, and
Yeah, it's too early to predict.
I
They have
think
made
I'm
some
Yeah.
brilliant signings.
a big
Yeah,
fan.
exactly. It's turning out to be one Portugal team only. Yeah, but
Semedo,
good.
I think.
Yeah.
What was that
Semedo.
pronunciation? And on that
Portugal,
note, with that terrible pronunciation, we're gonna conclude this review episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and what a thrilling conclusion to the second game week. And I think one of the best
Exactly.
we've seen so far. And yeah,
Oh, Wade.
thanks a lot for watching, guys. That's it for this episode from us. Please make sure to follow the podcast
Mbappe,
on
what?
Mbappe 2021. Please make
Not
it.
happening. We will have to
Please
sell
make it
everything.
happen.
Oh, I just hope it doesn't.
Uh,
You guys are.
no, shut up.
Then
That's why.
Premier
Then
League
we
is
just
like
win-
common.
win every
Yeah.
match.
Anyways,
Exactly.
let me
Treble after
conclude.
treble. Okay, cool.
Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you liked this episode, please make sure to drop a like on this video and also subscribe to our channel if you're new around here. And do follow our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on IGTV, where we will be posting a few videos. And also, thanks a lot for all your support over the weeks, guys. We really appreciate
It matters. It matters a
Yeah,
lot.
it matters a
It
lot.
matters a lot.
And the links to streaming this podcast will be in the bio of our Instagram page at the Pretentious Pundits. So do go follow that as well. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
Take care.
See you
Bye
guys.
guys. See you guys. Take care.